You must be a high-end producer. I've never seen you before.
Yes. Hello, Steve.
Hello.
Go ahead and take a seat. Steve, brought you in to talk today. As you know, as the host of one of the top sports shows in the tri-state area, it comes with certain expectations. And as host, we are implementing for you a new attire. From now on, this will be the new shirt that you wear for all More Than the Score shows.
Oh. Okay, well, let's take a look at this fancy thing. All right. Oh, this ought to be nice. Is this a joke?
Do you like it?
Do I like it? Really? This is not a joke.
I could not be more serious right now.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is the shirt you want me to wear? I am Stephen A. Ortman, the host of the best sports show in the tri-state area. And you want me to look like a fool in this black and white uniform? This black and white uniform is hideous. I can't stand this. You think that I am going to wear this in front of the thousands and thousands of people that watch More Than the Score? Well, let me tell you something, mister. I don't think so. Let me see what we got here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this right here, Daddy.
Steve,
I'm going to cut it up right here. You don't think I will?
Don't. Please.
I'm too important. I make the big bucks around here, mister. I'm the important one. I'm the star. I don't have to wear this. Safety scissors! Come on! I am important. I matter. You can't do this to me. You can't do this to Steve Ortman, mister. You're going to pay.
Some people can just not handle hosting the biggest sports show in the tri-state area. Sad.
Welcome back to More Than the Score, presented by Dubuque Bank and Trust. I'm your host today, Brenden West. This is Tim O'Neill. Steve Ortman, our regular host, has unfortunately been suspended for a non-violent office incident. And I gotta say, it was a pretty odd one. I've never quite really heard of something like that happening in the workplace before.
It just kind of leaves you scratching your head. I just don't really know what got into Steve that something like that would happen and just such a trivial thing would escalate.
Well, and as his teammate, I'm uncomfortable. I'm not sure that stuff like that should continue to happen in our workplace and everything. Hopefully he gets traded or something. I mean, he's a great reporter, but is he a crazy person? Anyway, we've got a lot of nice cuts for you today in this edition of More Than the Score. I actually happen to be working on a very long project involving a Hall of Fame pitcher named Jon Smoltz. He visited Dyersville a couple months ago. He brought up the issue of pitch counts, and I kind of took that article and branched it off, did some research and everything, and tried to make it, tried to tie it locally for us and everything. So we shed some light on that in our Sunday edition, and here's what we got out of Mr. Smoltz.
I think the specialized sports has really taken a toll on the industry, and the injuries are coming up at a rate where it's just not, it's no longer something that we just go, oh well, it's an epidemic. And I think the only way you reverse the curve and the only way you reverse the trend, you got to start lower, and you got to get to the youth sports. The reason nobody's paying attention is because parents are doing the best they can in their eyes with the organizations that have been created promoting that this is the way. And if you think that's the way, then your intentions are pure in and of itself. But parents don't understand that this is actually hurting more numbers than it's helping. I think the great's going to survive anyways. Like the great athletes, something you can't teach. And if they played 10% versus 80%, I think it's it's something that people don't understand, and the organizations don't really care, in my opinion, about the long-term health of these individuals. It's fighting for scholarship dollars, it's fighting for draft dollars, and the risk-reward is too great in people's eyes for them to pay attention that this is not normal. The guys before us, the Hall of Famers that have been in they never did it. They didn't do it, and I think that's the one trend that's changed universally. If we can make an impact, it would start at youth level. And these kids cannot handle the velocity that they're throwing at. The way they're training is opposite of the way that I trained, and many of me before me. So until we hit a point where it's so great that we have to take a look at the obvious, it's not going to change anytime soon.
I'm back. It's okay. It's okay. I'm back. I'm composed. I've composed myself. And I think it's safe to say I've learned one lesson, is that whether you're the host of one of the greatest sports shows of all time, like More Than the Score, or you're a very highly paid Major League Baseball pitcher, that is no way to act. Am I right?
You were right. In fact, yes. Yes, sir, you were right.
Okay, so I've eaten some crow. Here I am. I'm looking very sharp, I must say.
Very stylish.
Yes,
I would
very
say.
sharp. But enough about me. I'm ready to talk some sports. Prep baseball. The Iowa State tournament going on this week. We had 3 teams go down. Unfortunately, we did not have much luck in the opening round, starting with Edgewood Colesburg last Saturday night.
Yeah, a couple of tough losses for our area teams. Edgewood Colesburg, just a kind of a Cinderella run, as they said, to the state tournament. They hadn't been in the sub-state tournament since 1994. First time either the Edgewood or Colesburg programs were in the state tournament since the Colesburg team won the 1952 state title. So it was a long drought there. Edgewood Colesburg had never been there as a combined program. So it was nice for them to get there. They were the number 7 seed. They knocked off a couple of ranked teams. Unfortunately, number 3 Hawarden West Sioux just had a phenomenal start by its pitcher, Porter Hummel. He struck out 13 and just held the Vikings at bay. It was a 3-2 victory for West Sioux. Just a phenomenal season for Edgewood Colesburg. They set a program record for victories. Just frustrating when it was right there. You could have moved on a little bit, and they know that they belong now, and it's something for that program to build on in future years.
Sure, and you mentioned frustrating and right there. I mean, those things can be said about the other 2 teams we had down there. Jim Leitner was down there covering that. We'll be a little more in-depth next week. He's not here with us right now, but Dyersville-Beckman, obviously a strong state tradition. They've gone down many times, won many championships. They lost to Pleasantville in the first round, 3-1, a tough loss for them. And then Dubuque-Wahlert winning as the number 1 seed, but they suffered a tough loss to Seoul in the first round. So we wrapped up kind of quickly at the state tournament this year, which is kind of unusual for us. We have a lot of success down there usually. But like I said, Jim will be back next week. We'll make sure to wrap up that season here. But moving along, Tim O'Neill, I know it's always wrestling season.
It's always wrestling season in Iowa.
You sure is. And Gannon Grebel recently picked up another championship. Talk a little bit about that.
His 4th national championship. Gannon Grebel.
National championship.
Won his 2nd freestyle championship. It was the junior freestyle championships up in Fargo, North Dakota this past weekend. He pretty much dominated on his way to the championship. It was the 2nd freestyle. He also has 2 folk style national championships. Now, if you're unsure of the difference, freestyle basically is the international style of wrestling. It's what you'll see in the Olympics next month. Folk style, that's high school wrestling. High school goes with folk style, and so 4 national championships for him, a big boost of confidence going into his freshman year at Iowa State next year. So congratulations to Gannon Gremmel. And a couple other wrestlers were out there from what I read on a Western Dubuque Wrestling Facebook page. Aaron Costello, who you may remember was the runner-up to Gremmel in the 285 final in the high school tournament, became the Bobcats' first All-American at the Fargo National Tournament, according to that post. So congratulations to everybody on that. A great tournament, and hopefully that means a lot more success coming this winter in the high school wrestling season.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. Tim O'Neill, going the distance this episode, buddy. Great effort.
I'm back.
Great job.
I'm back.
I mean, words can't really describe. I mean, I think you did a fantastic job this week.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Steve. That really means a lot to me.
No problem. We're all friends here. So that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Steve Ortman. Don't forget, Check us out on Twitter at @THSportsFeed, and be sure to check out our brand new Facebook page. Ah, there it is. Bam! Telegraph Herald Sports on Facebook. Check us out. That's going to do it for this edition of Telegraph Herald More Than Score, presented by Dubuque Bank and Trust. I'm your host, Steve Ortman. That's the legendary Tim O'Neill. We'll check you next week. When you want to talk sports in the neighborhood, who you gonna call? Mosco! Do. When you want insight from the best guys around, who you gonna call? Mosco!